was always against them. I can't wait to see Radiant's top barracks fall.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks are falling. Radiant's middle tower just healed over. Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's ancient is under attack. Radiant's top barracks are falling. Radiant's middle tower just keeled over.
Absolutely perfect. Food. Blitz, you want to just open up a couple and see what they're all about? I heard they actually gave us okay stuff.
Okay, so this
But I don't know
daily
what
delivery.
European okay
This
is.
a pie? A pie? Some kind? It smells sweet, obviously.
Looks like meringue or something.
Yeah, is it? Lemon meringue.
I do. I love lemon
That
meringue.
looks really
Velvet cake is
That's for
garbage.
you.
Lemon
What?
meringue is
You haven't
great.
even had
Oh,
velvet.
they got us. They ordered it. It's wood plus cow.
Yeah.
Are Radiant using echolocation?
I'll take that. Mine.
Oh, they got us. Is that mine? That makes sense. Lumberjack breakfast.
Ooh, I wonder if that. I feel like that has bacon. French toast. I love
It has bacon.
Yo, I actually, pass that up.
Behold, thy searing gaze.
Oh, and then they
Dyer's top tower needs some friends.
Same as you, Time Hunter.
got you a steak.
Wow. That looks pretty good, actually.
And I want to give a shout out to them. Okay, this is a big pet peeve of mine. If you like eating bacon, you are a wow.
Show me some of those forks.
That is the.
That's bad. If you don't like your bacon floppy, why would you eat crispy bacon?
Then
What?
you're just eating ham.
No, are you
Yeah.
serious? I guess they eat pork. Just because it's the same animal doesn't make it the same thing.
Yeah, Grant, this is the worst thing
light.
I've ever heard you have.
No, I
by
know what
far.
the worst take is. That's the worst take. No, are you guys serious? You like crispy bacon. You like biting into
I don't like overly crispy where it's like where it shatters after one bite. But
look at how
floppy.
floppy this shit is.
Oh.
Oh my god. This is
You think you called me?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So if it's properly
Radiant's top tower does not send to the bottom.
They're trying to bring down the really tower.
very mediocre, crispy baked is not very good. And I imagine that's probably the client.
Radiant's top tower is on the rock. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Low class over there.
The rune of haste.
Okay with putting a pig in the lane.
Radiant's top tower is on the rock.
You know my dad didn't you?
Radiant's middle barracks have fallen.
Absolutely, perfect. Getting what they deserve.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Radiant's ancient is under attack. Radiant fortified their structures.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
Intelligence grows. Wicked sin.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
Absolutely perfect.
Had to own a chain. What would it be?
Red Robin.
Wingstop.
I was gonna go with I think Wingstop. Why Red Robin?
I like Red Robin.
Fair enough. Wouldn't you like it less then? Because like you'd be eating it every day, kind of if you own it, or no?
No. Like, well, were you talking about owning it? You mean like, am I actively managing it, or am I?
Radiant's
Dire's
team
ban now.
Radiant's top
Got him, production. And we got him. Beast Coast and J.Storm game number 2. Once again, this food is actually, dude, oh man, I just love me some bacon, man. I will be eating it later.
No,
obviously.
you
I
like
gotta
ham.
talk now.
You like lightly cooked ham.
No, I actually do not like ham. That's the thing. I don't like pork. I don't like ham. I legit only like bacon. I'm not
What's
even
wrong
kidding.
with this guy?
What? I like steak. I like that. I don't really like chicken that much. I like fried chicken, but I don't like naked chicken.
I will
Naked chicken.
Yeah, that's like just normal chicken without that sweet breading. You know?
What is steak? A naked cow?
Yeah, no, that would be a burger. Because the steak, I feel like you guys are trying to say I'm uncultured, but you guys are really, I'm sure Twitch chat is with me. Type 1 in chat for floppy. Type I'm a loser if you like crispy bacon. We'll see what we got in chat.
I hope the whole chat fills up with I'm a loser. This is the worst. The worst.
How is that a bad I actually can't believe you guys all like crispy. That's mind blowing.
You don't
It
like
really is.
you don't like mayo. You don't like cheese on your burgers. You don't. There's.
I'll eat like provolone on my burger, not like
You don't
cheddar.
like. You don't like brown rice.
No, I'll eat brown rice. It's just white rice is better.
I mean, you had enough of a problem with it to give a shit for getting brown rice. So.
Well, yeah, because that's a dumb take by you guys. That must be the worst take I've ever. No, I'm just kidding. Morphling's the first overall pick here, by the way. What's going on?
AAOD are banned, so it makes it a lot better. That's about all I got.
Is it? It still feels pretty early, right? There's other counters than AA and OD, right?
Those are the only like hard in-game counters.
Okay.
Like make it really hard to play the hero as like 30-40 minutes plus.
What's the ultimate like? I feel bad about picking things draft. Because Morphling's got to be one of those heroes, right? Where you're like, you're always thinking in your head, like, but we draft this, then they're gonna have that hero. They're gonna have X ability to utilize, you know? It's like the same thing with Nyx Assassin or Pugnus, where you're like, I don't want to draft this intelligence hero.
Yeah.
It's useless. Yeah.
They're going back.
So they have to go for the Rubik Nyx Pugna.
They went Rubik Nyx Pugna. I like it with Morphling. What's the final hero?
Undying, because he shuts down like all the strength heroes.
What about just the Timbersaw? We just go back for the Timbersaw, right?
It's already banned.
Yeah, this is a fantasy.
Oh, this is fantasy. Timbersaw's fine. Timbersaw's fine.
So Centaur Shadow Shaman looks like Beast Coast already heading. I think you were about to say that, Blitz.
Yeah.
They're heading back to their roots that they were winning with.
The thing is it's a good thing to counterpick. That's what Wings got so famous for, right? They would just one-to-one counterpick heroes, and their players were so versatile that it didn't matter.
You could do it.
But in this meta, I think it's actually better to just, especially for NA, I think this mainly applies to like these teams, to do what you're good at. Especially for a team like Beast Coast, where they haven't had the most experience together as a group and stuff like that. Plus, they've gotten this far through this one concept. Why would you quit on that now?
Yeah. And they have more playmakers this game already in the first 2 heroes than they did last game.
Yeah, last game it felt like I was watching. If you would flip the teams around, I'd be, oh, that's normal. Like, that makes sense. Like, I could see Beast Coast playing that draft, and I could see J.Storm playing that one. And no.
Finally get a Bat Rider, huh?
Interestingly enough, a lot of the heroes against Bat, like Lifestealer, are really bad against Morph. So they're probably going to ban out Slark, I have to imagine. And maybe something like a PL, one of the other heroes that are good against Bat Rider in lane, and also pretty good against Morph. I'd say they could easily make this a 5-position bat, but I think that's just going to be determined by what ends up being picked by Beast Coast. The Oracle's fine as well. I think Slark has to be banned, but
does Bat crush Centaur 1-on-1 in lane?
I'd have to imagine yes.
Yeah. If I know if Tide does, then Centaur definitely gets crushed.
It's like one of those things where I've even dealt with like 5-position Bat Riders, and it's really annoying because most of the time, like the support harassing you feels great, but this build-up of like sticky napalms and he's just doing more and more damage. Eventually, he can try and kill me with just fire flying over me.
Is it good, Brian?
It is pretty good, actually.
Dude, it looks.
The hash browns are actually pretty legit.
How well done is the steak?
The steak is pretty well done, so I'm not a huge fan of it, but you know that it's not like bad steak. It's just a little more.
Can you
imagine
you get some A1 and
like
you're good.
well done?
Oh man, I mean, isn't that pretty popular in Europe? They don't cook their steaks that much. I didn't think.
Yeah, did I tell you when I used to cook for Europeans, I used to do that too. And almost every player I ever worked with, bar, these people would not want to be included in the list. All but, you can look through my coaching history, all but Fada and Jerex requested their steaks well done.
What's wrong with them?
I'm just.
How can you be so good? How can you be so good at Dota and just so?
Those are the two though that.
So they're okay.
They're good.
Those two
They're
are
not on
cool.
the sus list.
Okay,
Everybody else.
Okay, this sus list is getting pretty long.
It is. I mean, that's a big one right there. Well done. I agree. Like they might be just all minus Fada and Jerex. You guys are okay. That's it.
Are they not, sorry, are they not 100% picking a Batten for Base Coast? Like, what other hero solves the problem?
Yeah.
And it's like a Mike hero, right? They already have playmakers. Like, they banned the Oracle, and now you have... I feel like your lanes are super hard to make work unless you pick a Batten third right here. Yeah, the hero's kind of fallen out of favor. That miscoil cast range nerf kind of owned him. But
you still like it here?
I mean, I just feel like if you don't pick it here, your hero pools are so limited, and things get complicated. You have to worry about this Bat Rider being a 5 or a 2 or a 3.
You're not worried about... 9 used to play it all the time on Team Spirit as well, middle. So
Well, yeah, it's
I don't
just
think
like-
he'll play middle. But
Batten addresses
anywhere.
Bat Rider in the game, and also like any lane that's having an issue, he can go shield the guy. You know what I mean? Is there any other hero in the game that does this? Because most of the other purges are like Legion and stuff, like offlaners, and you already have Centaur, and Oracle's banned. What else is there?
That's a good question.
If he doesn't pick a Batten here, then I'm on the sus list.
Damn, you're willing to commit that much for one Ava pick? You
To be on the
crazy.
sus list? You want to join the well done
Damn,
steak
I'm on the
crew?
sus list.
Welcome to the well done
Europeans.
I felt really left out, so that's
you
why
wanted
I
to
said
join
that.
it.
I knew he wasn't picking a Batten. That hero sucks.
It does suck right now, dude. I was real surprised that you were willing to stick the rep on that.
Well, like, I feel like their laning stage is so awkward now. They have to pick Slark or something fourth. It's actually a really good Slark game, so I will be off the sus list if they pick Slark fourth.
Beast Coast?
Yeah, Beast Coast.
Okay, I'll accept that.
I'll accept it. Grimstroke, obviously, like you said, if they do take a Slark, you know, then you have him as well as Centaur, pretty nice initiations. You got the double Shadow Shaman stuff, but I don't know. What is J.Storm on right here? Do you think they're just going to pick up some random support as well? We'll find out. It's an Undying. All right.
Shuts down the Centaur. It's why they pick it, and they also have double Undying if they want it at level 20.
So now we know that it's a bad. It confirms though that it's a bad off.
It's Bat 4 now, I think.
Bat 4
Bat
or
4,
bad.
yeah.
I
This
think Bat
is-
4 is not that great in this game.
Well, I think it still could be 9, because 9 played it a lot.
I think what they're really doing
Yeah.
here is you give the potential for Mu to have a one-on-one, which is the whole concept behind the Timbersaw.
Yeah.
So that if, for whatever lane configuration, it's like, oh, Bat Rider will be good in. Because that's Bat's problem, is that if he plays against tri-lanes, he's just garbage. Because you have the Darkseer problem where it's really inefficient to jungle, because you're sitting there like with 2 stacked camps, and then you're hitting level 10 or 10 sticky charges, and then you're just chilling. And any support can just come mess with you at any point, and it just ruins you.
Well, that's a quap, Brian. So now two-time susless defender has arrived.
Hey, wait. It
What if
could
they
still be a
last pick
fifth.
it?
They could. He did say
said
fourth.
fourth. He literally said
It's
fourth.
such a good Slark game. OD's already banned. Like Shadow Demon's one of the best supports against you.
No,
Like,
no, no, no.
As the owner and writer of
Yeah.
the sus list, would you accept? I will make the case for Brian here.
I will
If it's a
allow-
fifth pick Slark.
I will take. He's now a two-times person. I will take off one of the names. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, do I get a re-guess if it's banned Slark?
Yes.
If they ban Slark,
Yeah.
do I get a re-guess?
Because then that would have been right anyway.
Like to remove the one. To remove the one, do I get a
Careful,
re-guess?
careful now. We
yes.
don't want to tell the writer of the sus list.
Yeah, I feel like you
how
guys are
the
just trying to
sus list
freak
works.
me out right
No, I'm
now.
just saying,
yeah.
if J.Storm bans it, I have no chance. So do I get a
Yes,
chance?
you would.
Okay.
But if they don't
beastcoast
ban
bans it, then I'm calling it. Calling it
Okay.
quits there.
Got it.
What number? How many do I have?
3 times.
You're off, I think now. Well, no, crispy bacon, you're on. You both are on for the crispy.
What about yourself, Grant?
I'm definitely not on. I eat that shit nice and floppy.
Okay, so it's gonna be Slark and Peel are the two heroes pick banned for Beast Coast.
Let's see.
Like they're gonna pick one of those two, and the other one's the one that's banned. Because Peel's really good against Undying, Batrider, and Morph. So unless they were to pick, what 4 position would cause some issues? I feel like a Nyx Assassin or something is really good here.
And we've not seen much Nyx in NA at all, which
Yeah,
is
we
it's
haven't.
a little surprising.
You can like stun the Centaur on his own return. You can. You have 3 Ent heroes on Beast Coast.
J.Storm member?
Is that hero still in? Holy crap, that hero's still in the pool? They have a lot of stuns on Beast Coast, though.
Yeah, but lots of stuns counter everything. I guess you could go mid-morph or something and pick like Wraith.
I was told mid-morph's really bad against Quap. I don't know.
It's kind of rough.
Okay.
You can't play it like the... It's like playing against Zeus and stuff, right? Oh, they take...
Ooh, I like Kunkka.
9.
Great lockdown against the Quap and Centaur.
Yeah, I wanted some kind of catch, which is why I thought of Ember.
Okay, never mind. Slark and Peel suck. That's even why that's a better pick, because those are the 2 heroes that stand out to me from the carry role for Beast Coast, and now Kunkka's good against both of those, like really good. So you can't purge X with Slark Dark Pact, and Kunkka just buys Radiance if you're against Peel.
5 seconds remaining.
Alright, so it will be Beast Coast with the overall last pick. They'll at least get to see what J.Storm. J.Storm looking to probably pick up
YouTube is
a
obviously
sport
one of
here,
my
still
favorite
their 4. Beast Coast, they gotta pick that end-all be-all hero, will they?
It's a
platforms.
4th
I love it
position
for a
bat,
lot
huh?
of reasons. I love video. I
It
love
feels
doing
like to me the Beast Coast
tutorials.
really need,
I love throw my email
like
YouTube cards look
it's really
like.
scary that
Hit
J.Storm
little
have this
eye
like great
in the
lockdown
top
of the
left-hand
Kunkka
corner for
combined
me
with
and
2
right-hand
heroes that
corner
just
for
own
you,
an area
and
with
see what
Batrider and
pops up.
Undying.
You'll see a list of
They're gonna ban
websites
Joga
as
thing
well
on
as
J.Storm.
videos
Out of
and
all the heroes
playlists
left
pop up.
against Batrider,
YouTube has said that
there's
these cards
Jug.
are eventually
The
going
vision
to
game's really
replace
good too,
annotations
J.Storm.
entirely. And the big benefit that cards
J.Storm
have
feels like
over
a whole new team. You
annotations
went just
is
their
that they
drafts
work
today.
across screens
feel so
and
much
they
different.
also
No
work on
carry
mobile
hero looks
devices.
perfect here.
It
So
is
if you
a-
aren't using YouTube cards yet,
position
here's how to do it.
Batty.
To find YouTube cards, go to Video
What do
Manager,
you pick? Like,
into
any
all
hero
the
you
different
pick here
options
is
that
gonna
you
be
can add
countered
to
by
the video.
Kunkka. 'Cause you
So
have
you
to
can
pick something
add
that
your
removes
website,
sticky.
which you do have to
Yeah, or
verify,
else you
but it's
just-
a really
that lane's-
simple
you just lose
process.
through lanes.
Like, I feel
Fundraising
like this
initiatives, so you
Batrider
can
just
send your
wins the
viewers
entire game if
to
a
a
second
channel
pick
or another
Batrider
person's
is
chest.
against no
I hit
sticky
that
maneuvers. Quap's, like,
option,
okay against
and then I
Bat
click the video,
because you
and I
can,
say create
like,
card,
the
and
Batrider
you'll
can't,
see
like,
that
dive you or
that
anything as a
card
support.
is
Are
now
you gonna
at
pick
2
Troll here
seconds
as
in
Beast Coast?
on the video.
pick Troll,
And
you
I can
lose.
move that card to any
what's the
point I
hero?
want in the video.
I'm saying, like,
And then you just click on the little
you
eye
have
and
to
it'll
pick
tell
something that
you
removes
which
sticky, man.
videos
Like, you have to,
or
like, even Lifestealer
websites
is
So
better.
for you,
or
it's
Like,
either Slark or
playlists
Lifestealer.
you
yeah, the
link
problem
to
is,
in
like,
your
all these heroes are either bad against Morph or Kunkka. Like, one of the two.
Yeah.
Like, Lifestealer's really bad against Morph, Slark, PL are really bad against Kunkka. Like,
Well, they got 5 seconds,
you can't just
BSJ.
ignore the fact that this Batrider's in the game. Yeah, you do.
that's-
Okay, so I'm like, one of my ticks are off the sus
Yeah,
list.
you're good
Six is
for
good.
now. It's
Okay.
like, whatever. You're.
I feel like you just last picked Slark into 2 counters, the Kunkka Legion. Why is that Slark not 4th? Do you see what I'm saying here? That's why I thought they'd pick it 4th, because you're playing, like, they're gonna be aware that Slark's a good pick, so then you would have a perfect pick last.
I assume
I
it's
think that was actually just purely a mistake by Beast Coast drafting, but what do you guys think over there?
I think Beast Coast really have to make sure they don't lose the lanes super hard, but if they don't lose the lanes, then I can really see Beast Coast just kind of running over J.Storm in a lot of ways. J.Storm's lineups, like hero to hero, there's a lot of matchups, but there's the individually, like each one of the heroes has like different timings, I think. While Beast Coast, you have this 4-man, there's like very simple, like 4 protect 1, where this 4-man can just like run it. A lot of J.Storm heroes, they're all going to be strong in 20 minutes. They could just kind of run over you at that point.
I think I prefer J.Storm's lineup, just because I think the Kunkka versus Quap matchup is really nice for Kunkka too. And I think they can always fight them 5-on-5. I can see them fighting them 5-on-5. They have like Undying plus Batrider. That's good enough to take these engagements, plus the boat buff.
So you guys are both. So Cap, when do you think Beast Coast falls off? If they don't just take over like the 20 to 30 minute mark, do you think it's gonna be a problem?
I think J.Storm, like if I had to predict, I would say J.Storm, but I could see how Beast Coast like would win. It would have to be off of don't lose your lane super hard, run over them in like that 15-20 minute marker where Quap and Centaur are very strong. You've got 2 great playmaking supports. Like basically there's a lot of team fight that happens between those 4, and then Slark can just come in and clean up, which is what BSJ says Slark does
Yeah,
best.
I mean, I'm completely in agreement with you on your draft analysis there. Like, I think J.Storm's is favored, but Beast Coast has a way better lineup than last game. Like, they can make the plays. It's the way they like to play. They smoke up and make good rotations, and they have a lot of heroes that do that.
Well, unfortunately, not for us.
Kill the cool versions of
I am sorry, my wormhole friends, but back to the stars with you, my friend. Wow, wow, wow. And that's them floating up in the stars. I don't know what the sound was, but whatever. We got J.Storm, we got Beast Coast, we got the possibility of knowing our grand finals matchup after this game if J.Storm wins.
The thing for me as like a Slark player here, I don't mind playing Slark in this game, but it's not like a free Slark game, so I wouldn't have minded if I had been 4th pick Slark, and then my mid laner has like a really good game.
Like you get him the matchup.
Yeah, exactly. And like Quap does okay in lane against Kunkka, but in game it's like really rough for the Quap. And I think Slark, we're probably gonna see a bunch of Lincolns coming out from Beast Coast this game. I think Slark and Quap will definitely have one by the end of the game. Against Batrider, Kunkka, Legion, all of their catch is single target. And they don't have like an easy way to instant break your Lincolns either. Yeah, like Soul Rip kind of, but Undying's never really going to be the one
at the front of the fight,
getting
like
in the range of Soul Ripping you. Yeah, like sometimes they'll have like a Lion Mana Drain or something that makes Lincolns just really bad. But this game, we're almost certainly going to see a bunch of Lincolns. And if they get to that point in the game on Beast Coast, like Slark is going to feed off these heroes. If he gets like Diffusal, Lincoln's BKB, I know that seems like a lot of items. It's not like he needs those to be able to fight, but if he gets to that point, I think he's the strongest hero in the game. So I'd like to see how that plays out. By that point, looks like we're going to get a little ninja play by 1437, sneaking that bounty rune out from under their noses. So that's going to be 3 for 1 in favor of the J.Storm lineup here.
Yeah, and like that. Yeah, purple pings. I'm like, son of a gun, he got us.
I love doing that, man. Especially when they have kill lineups, because you know they're going to be grouped up.
They want to, yeah.
Yeah.
So, does look like it's Moose. He's zoned him out, but both heroes are already under that tower, so he can't really harass until they're there. This Slark, he's going to need help, right? Someone has to TP down here. Does he want to be down here 2v1? There's no way, right? Especially not for his Batrider Legion. That is a lot.
The one bounty rune is a pretty big deal for Slark because he didn't have the gold to get the Quelling Blade before the creeps come under his tower. Like right here, he'd be getting like all these CS. Yeah, he gets that one. That was impressive.
Who kind of messed him up there. Yeah, we'll watch. And this, man,
wow.
Leo.
That's actually really
He's
big.
going to get this one as well. Oh, okay. I thought he actually
that was the easiest
Of course he doesn't. Oh, but the range creep now, they're just going to right-click him. Don't want to get it denied, obviously, but he is stealing a lot. Gets that agility for now, and they will bring it down. I love me, just some last in the under tower. Top lane, it will be that Morphling, as well as Undying. Undying needs to be careful. Just going to get held here. Moose is going to throw up the Inkswell, and this should be an easy first blood. Well, maybe they tried to give the kill to Braxton. He just steals some more strength. Oh, my goodness. And, well, he ends up taking it anyways.
Allowed him to get that extra taunt off for the mental damage.
And you love Undying in tri-lanes, but... I mean, he'll just come back, right? Is that death that big for an Undying?
Not
It feels
really.
like you don't really want to die, though, as an Undying, but it's not the biggest deal.
You're basically buying space for your Morphling to not do that. Yeah. And Slark's actually doing pretty well down here. 6-0 in a 1v2, and he's getting solo XP. It's going to get a little rougher for him, but he does have the stick plus quelling, so he's good to go on items. You don't mind spamming a Dark Pack to remove Sticky because you get the stick charges to have your mana come back.
We'll see. He's just harassing out Fear down here, doing it over and over. Meanwhile, bottom lane, another hold's going to go on the Undying. He'll get stomped again. There goes another stun. Will he get another decay off? It's on cooldown for 3 seconds. They need one more right click.
That's a big death.
Gets it.
He has no TP. It should be on cooldown for like another 30 seconds. So that alone, that one's a big one because the lane's pushing out. They needed to, yeah, okay, good. They're having the creeps meet here. They're actually missing these 3 creeps. Never mind. This isn't that bad for Morphling. Obviously not ideal, but it could be way worse.
J.Storm picked up by 9.
Mid lane going exactly even as said. It's not a terrible matchup either way, but in game, Kunkka really likes playing against the co-op.
9, he went down as a Kunk with no boots to go pick up that J.Storm. Obviously, both teams have that ward bottom, so everyone's gonna know if there's anything happening down there.
Leo has the 201 build. That's fascinating. I guess you're spamming Dark Pact anyways, is the idea behind it.
Yeah.
But the Dark Pact does deal damage to yourself, so you're going to run out of regen, as you see here. He's going to have to fly himself some more. Probably going to look to buy some raindrops with those tangos is what I would personally buy. That's because it's the 3-minute mark coming out, and you're against the Legion overwhelming odds, which is quite a painful ability to tank when you're running low on regen.
Brax, he's just diving under the tower right now. Right-clicking resolution down. Moose trying to stop the pull of 1437.
Rezo's only got 5 CS.
Yeah, he is definitely, he is struggling very hard right now. Last hitting under the tower.
So it's kind of one of those where you aren't, this isn't an ideal situation for Slark. If you're like in a pub, you'd be like, why aren't my supports helping me? But this is a situation where they're shutting down the Morphling more than you're getting shut down. So you're perfectly fine with this trade-off. Both offlaners are doing better than their respective carries.
And also, I guess we didn't really talk about it. It is an IX Might. It is a position 5 Rasta, not a position 5 Grimstroke. Is there like...
Interesting.
Why? You just want the Aether lens? Maybe Moo's just more comfortable on the hero?
I was going to say,
sure.
maybe IX Might just doesn't play Grim. I've never seen that. So.
I've never seen him played either. Well, it will just continue to trade farm up top, but the Centaur doing a little bit better than the Morphling, obviously, but this Kunkka is starting to take a pretty heavy lead in the mid lane. 28-2 versus 19-5. The bottom rune, he's gonna blink 40, does pick it up. He will get hit by the Torrent, but he's gonna be okay with that. But look at this, Fear's gonna be over here, and guess what? Blink's on cooldown. Rioi's gonna have to do some crazy stuff. There's gonna be the X. He might just be going down here. There's no might. He will be. And nice rotation from Fear there.
That was clutch.
Comes over at that position 4 Bat Rider. Well, so wait, because if you're position 4, obviously you want to get some items. Does he just stack jungle? Is that where he's going to get the farm on Bat Rider?
I think you're going to have some space open up for you with the cores rotating, and eventually, like, you will have the option to jungle. It's kind of a weird spot. I've never actually seen Bat Rider 4. I've seen it 5,
like
3,
like
2.
10 years ago. Yeah, exactly. You've seen it 1?
Oh, sorry. I was 5.
Dude, that'd be hilarious. If you've seen a 1 batter, I'm like, damn, you have seen the future of Dota. Uh-oh, Moose, the X. It is only level 1. He actually gets the bounty and he runs back into it. Here comes a boat. Here comes a torrent. This should be a kill here on Moose. And it will be. 9 ends up picking it up, and they talked about it. Bloodslide, but you just want that middle who moves around, and Kunk already 2 runes, 2 kills. They will pop the shrine as well. Shower with the boys.
Morphling recovering nicely. He's a hero that is pretty hard to kill, I'd say, super early game, but they have the tools. If they can get that bug on him from the Grimstroke following up after the Hex, they absolutely have the burst damage needed to kill him. So this is never a free Morphling game. Rightfully so, since they first picked it overall.
Yeah, you hope it's not if you're on the Beast Coast side at least.
Yeah.
Well, Brax is going to try to cut some creeps. 1437 will continue to go after him here. Morphling, happy. And Brax isn't over there. And now will be another shrine used. So both shrines used by the Dire already. Well, neither used on the Radiant. And there will be a double damage top. Looks like Rio will pick this one up. Bottle plus 2 nulls. Still not doing terrible even with that death. Has 10 denies compared to Kunkka.
Going on bottom here. Get the pounce with the Inkswell on the Slark. Really big kill if they can get it.
And then it would be a
oh my god, it's so close.
But maybe not. He does have another level 3 Dark Pact, but instead Fear's just eating Moose alive. He's gonna be able to get this kill. He's just flying over him, and he does. There will be a hold, and now Leo needs to at least get this 1 kill. He gets it on Fear, but I explain he's gonna go down as well. Now it's Moo versus Leo. There's gonna be a rotation for Rio, and double damage there.
Didn't get the Agi though from the second kill.
And that would have been pretty nice. I mean, honestly, honestly, right? Every agility matters in a game like this.
It snowballs, but you're more than happy to get 2 kills right there. Really good rotation from Ryoya. Yeah, you're trading 2 supports for it, but most importantly, the Slark Legion matchup's really snowbally. Like, if Legion can just duel you and bully you out of lane with that kill threat, it really limits your farm a lot on Slark. But on the other hand, Slark represents a lot of kill threat on Legion, so it kind of goes both ways. Really important to swing that in favor of the Slark, who is level 6 now.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be really hard to kill him at this point, but Brax, he might get found. There's going to be the X, there's going to be the bow where you're going to hit him with the Torrent as well. Sure looks like in Rezo. Yep, that's my kill, he says. Hits him with that level 1 adaptive.
Slark is going for Midas without boots. Yeah, he has the Wraith Band and the Wand, but interesting to me that he chooses that build because of what I said about the Slark Legion matchup. If you die once going for this Midas to this Legion, it makes it not worth it. So he has to be really careful. They are going to catch the Legion with the Shackle, long duration.
1437, he does have the level 2 heal. That is a lot of heal. They do get the stun off though. Leo going to continue to right click, but they won't be able to bring him down.
Yeah, usually Slark has multiple points in Essence Shift at this point, but because he was maxing packed against the Bat Rider, you're seeing a pretty standard, like an old build on Slark.
Yeah, this is the I'm just gonna farm up a lot kind of build.
And it makes sense, I guess, with that idea in mind that he's going for the Midas.
So, Dire will scan. They will get a red, but it turns green. Ike's Mike. Oh, there's a regen. That's mine. And he gets the Hex off, so he continues to get the charge. He's using all the mana. Ray comes over, maybe looking for a kill, but won't be able to get that regen rune since Mike had to take it. Elsewhere, Brax, he's just getting chased down by fear now. And as they talked about, even position 4, position 5, the Centaur does not feel good if the Bat is in that lane.
And if you look at the net worths, actually, all cores are on the Dire side are like 500 ahead of their counterparts, approximately. I guess the offlaners are about equal. But Kunkka, number 1 in the net worth, and he has the Radiance queued up. It's not amazing versus Slark, but the mischance is good. Bottom lane, yeah, there's just a brawl constantly.
It is, but look at this. Moo, he doesn't care. Is this going to be a free duel? Will they get the kill? There's he comes down here. Oh, my Lord, and this could be a double. There's going to be one. Mike even stays alive. Will they chase that fear? The nuke does hit. The Shadow Strike will tick him down, and wow, another good rotation from Ryoya. Again, this Quap saving the bottom lane right now.
But, man, he missed the ult on the Legion. Mike could be hitting for a bonus 10 damage, Grant.
Damn, he would have loved that. You know, Mike. What, Mike? What's he gonna do? That would be a lot. Shadow Stone, he just has 100 base damage. He's like, yeah, this is great. All right.
Yeah, obviously we're joking, but good rotation from Ryoya. Just didn't get the dual win. If it was on like the Slark, that would have been relevant, but it wasn't.
10 damage on a Slark or even a Quap, right? That makes a ton of difference. There will be a Torrent coming out, so Ryoya will tank that harass. 10-minute runes seem to be pretty important right now. I'm curious, will we fight for the bounties? Or are we going to fight for the normal runes? It looks like 9's going up top, so yeah, Ryoya, he is just going to pop that shrine finally. He's going to fight for this top rune. He's got to be careful. It's Brax and Ryoya, but guess what? It's 9, Fear, and Moo. They are just hiding. I like it. It's nighttime. They're just hiding behind the trees here.
Midas on the Slark done pre-10 minutes. That's pretty early. Obviously, he skipped the boots, and he's going to have to go back for those.
Okay, so it won't be the rune. And look at this Moo. He's looking for a duel. Oh, it's an Arcane rune. Oh, my bad. I missed 1437 going down looking at these runes, but 9's going to get a Arcane rune as well. Do you like the straight-up Radiance? Isn't he sometimes Armlet into Radiance? Why is he just going straight?
Yeah, sometimes you'll see Armlet. Sometimes you see Drums. I don't think... I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't know too much about Kunkka in terms of like the exact details of when it's proper to go these mid-game items. It's just it might just be as much as a playstyle thing for the player. The Radiance is quite potent this game, but also at the same time, I look at Kunkka and I'm like, if I had like BKB Halberd, I'm like really powerful against the Slark and all the other damage. Like all they have is Slark plus magic damage, and so that's going to delay those items. I think that's what he'll go after the Radiance, and maybe that's why he's skipping like the Armlet Drums, because he knows he needs like specific items past the Radiance. That may be the idea behind it. He hasn't been nearly as active as I thought he'd be, but that is showing in his net worth, right? Like, even though the Quap's been the one rotating, the Kunkka ends up being the #1 net worth because he's just hitting creeps.
Ooh, misses the Torrent stack there on Kunkka.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool how you can do that. I always forget about it. Morphling does rotate bottom.
Oh, there's a smoke, though, from Ike's Mike as well as moves. They're both level 6. Rezo, he could just get Hexter signs. Whoop, they're going over. He gets the Hex up before they can do anything. This is going to be an easy kill. Nice job by Ike's Mike. And it felt like he had time when he saw, but there is going to be a lasso. This could be a kill on Queen of Pain. There's the duel, and it will be. So a big kill for big kill trade there, but you get the extra damage. on the Legion, but Morph dying, I mean, pretty even trade, I guess.
It's even, but I'd also say that based on what's happening in the lanes, like who's pushing what, that favors Beast Coast, because meanwhile, Slark's farming top, Centaur was pushing out mid, working on his Blink Dagger, about 700 gold off. So I'd say that just goes in favor of Beast Coast. And we were talking about how, as the game goes on, I think Beast Coast is favored, and a lot of things have seemingly gone right for them so far. And it just shows how weak their early game was when Cap was worried about how the lanes were going to go, because they're up in kills. It seems like a lot of good rotations coming out from them, and they're still down by 1,000 net worth. Legion queuing up that Blade Mail first.
Is that, you like that instead of a Blink or anything? We even saw a Vanguard Legion Commander some other day. You just like,
you can't go Vanguard against Slark because you're just feeding a message shift. I think that it's an offensive and defensive item, and it makes it so that Slark can't really kill you unless you're permanently disabled while you're it's like a map pressure thing. If you have a blink, you're vulnerable to getting initiated onto, and since he has like a Kunkka to start fights as well, he's going to be more of a I run at them and force them to use stuff on me kind of hero, and Blade Mail makes sense for that.
And I'm watching the stack being taken by, I mean, top tower is going to go down to the Slark, but we got a Tombstone stack being taken by Reza over here.
Not the fastest execution of the stack, but either way, they are content to farm up, you can tell, because 9, like we've mentioned several times, is going for that Radiance. Mood chilling in the bottom lane. Both teams are playing the efficiency game. Slark just straight up queuing a Scotty. I thought he'd go for like Diffusal Lincolns.
Isn't Diffusal really, really good versus Morph? That's what.
Yeah, I mean, I just think like Lincolns is completely necessary this game, and the one problem with Lincolns is it offers you no aggression. So he's kind of like going in between with the Scotty, where you get a little bit of the effect of both items. You get a bit of tankiness in the slow, but I feel like this game is incredibly difficult to play with no Lincolns. By the time the Legion has Blink Blade Mail, you have to ulti going into fights, and that makes it really weird to play Slark.
Yeah.
When you can't like afford to hold your ulti, even if just because you don't see one hero on the map. But they have no saves, so maybe we'll see like probably a Yule's coming out from Quap. Yeah, Yule's is really good here because of the Kunkka X, but as well as the duel on Legion, like the Legion duels and just Yule's are up in the air.
Yeah.
Fear working on some drums, so no blink from him either.
Okay, so that could be an issue coming up. You don't know that. True, I guess they're just all in on this Kunkka X getting somebody. Yeah, Moo continues to just farm up. He will have his Blade Mill now over at the side shop.
Centaur, does he have blink on Centaur? He does, so they're looking to potentially make something happen here. I don't think he's been scouted.
Someone play in middle. 9. He's just trying to clear out that middle wave. He does have enough for the relic if he wishes to purchase it.
He's actually so rich on Kunkka. He's beating a Midas first Slark pretty much, and Slark had a good lane.
Yeah, it's close, but as you said, 9, he continues to move farther and further ahead, and later there's 4 heroes over here. They really want to kill someone middle before they get that tower, but eventually you're just kind of wasting time at this point, it feels like.
Yeah, nobody's showing bottom, nobody's pushing top tier 2, so it's pretty obvious that Beast Coast is somewhere around the mid lane, but looks like they want to fight.
Wow, Brax is in here.
He's going to die here, aren't they? 2-man stop maybe?
He thought about it, but he sees a third. It's a Morphling TB in. Are they willing to commit? They're going to blink forward. It will be a 2-man stop. Gets him in between. He takes a lot of damage, but it's a 3-man ulti from Roy. No one still died yet. The silence is on the Morphling. He gets stunned again. He goes down. There will be a duel with the Blade Mill. Will Rioya go down? He won't to the duel, but he will to Bat Rider. And now I explain he's going to get run over by this Firefly. They get to look for the Slark. I don't think you can kill him, so instead they're going to turn their attention to Moose and Fear. These two, if you didn't know, strange teammates, but in the last Open Qualifiers, Fear and Moose did play in South America.
I mean, the turnaround potential from Dire, I guess, is pretty insane. I'm surprised they fought that before the Radiance, and that bodes pretty poorly for the Radiant squad. That they are missing almost all their net worth on Kunkka. Like, you have a 7,600 gold net worth Kunkka, and half of that's on a relic. So, and the fight still went poorly. Undying, one of the best counter initiation heroes in the game. They did use Centaur ulti right at the start, which is pretty much the disengage from Tomb. I heard Kyle talking about it last night. I always thought that Centaur was pretty good against Undying because of the ulti that you haste everybody away from the Tomb, but at the end of the day, that Tomb persists for a long period of time, and that Centaur ulti is not a very large percentage of that period of time. We do see a Solar Crest being queued up by Mood. No blink on him. He's playing it like a Beastmaster, where you buff up the attack speed of one of your cores, and you just buy buff items.
Yep. And Leo, he did go for the Diffusal Blade on the Slark. Switched it up the last second. They're going to fly it out now. Looks like they want to take this top tier 2. They know it was a pretty rough fight middle. Tower did end up going down, I guess, so you get a little bit of that map presence.
I don't like the BKB on Slark. I think Lincoln's is just really good here. You go Lincoln's, then BKB, but BKB's never raw. It's never bad. It's never bad, so I'm not flaming it. It's just that I think the Lincoln sounds really nice, but that Lincoln's is more expensive, so that's kind of boding that he's saying, like, I need to be ready earlier.
Yeah.
Of course, he did have the Scotty queued up the whole time and then just went Diffusal anyways.
And this will be a tier 2 tower getting taken top. Bottom lane tower is at full HP. I believe Radiance will try to defend this, or do they even care about that bottom tier 2 either?
Nah, you kind of just accept the trade. They're already set up on J.Storm. They'd have to all-in commit for this, and that just doesn't feel good. Your Quap, pretty low net worth, despite all the successful rotations, has 3 deaths. Like, yeah, she's keeping up with the Legion, but a solid 2,000 gold behind all the other cores, behind all the 1s and 2s in the game, I guess I could say.
Middle lane, Mandy is just gonna, or Leo is just gonna keep cutting those creeps. And both teams are just avoiding each other right now. There's a Radiance in the stash now of Kunkka, as well as level 15 coming up, so he's gonna be pretty happy.
Yeah, if he gets BKB Halberd, he's like so scary. I don't know what else to say from like a Slark perspective. You just don't have enough damage to bring him down. And the Radiance burn on Kunkka, for people who haven't kept up with Dota, we see it a lot, the Radiance on Kunkka. You're kind of like an X-Torrent boat, and then you're kind of just running around in the fight anyway. And because of the Radiance, it's bound to extend the fight with the Kunkka rum that makes you take 50% damage.
Yeah.
And so in extended fights, Radiance always goes up in value. We might be seeing Leo get caught here. Does break the smoke with the night vision, so he sees them and they don't see him. Good play, actually, by him.
If you didn't know, Slark, the only hero, I believe, with the same night vision is day vision a lot.
You have Lycan ulti, you have Night Stalker, obviously. Yeah. Well, I guess he doesn't have the same. He has better night vision.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Fear goes down top.
You have some heroes that have talents. You have Wyvern who gets it on her Q. I always like to think about this because it is an important part of Dota. Sniper has extended night vision. I think it's like 1,200.
Well, it is important because look at it. He just
1,400 night vision on Sniper.
Like he just dodged a gank because of it, right? Like that very well could have just been a kill, but
vision's a huge part of Dota, and knowing when they see you and when you see them is pretty important. And that's like something that makes. There's like 3 parts of Slark that are super broken that like the average player doesn't know about. It's the fact that you detect wards with your ultimate, the night vision part of it, and then also the fact that you just have, I guess all the other parts are known, so I'm not going to talk about this anymore. We do see Legion get caught in the middle lane, but you got the Tombstone behind, and who's actually catching who is the real question.
Yeah, this doesn't look good. It seems like you're just giving some free damage here to the Legion, and there are other heroes. Fear, he's got the Tranquils and Drums. He's going to try to chase after Brax. They will pop the ulti. Rioya runs down. Brax runs up. He's going to TP behind the tower, and Fear won't be able to find him there. They do know where Rioya is at.
He's looking
down.
The
It's 9. Oh, and he gets the X. Right, could be in a lot of trouble. He has the Yules. He will pop it up. Was it too early? No. It was well played. There goes the Torn. It misses. Both misses. And Rioya, he's breaking some ankles here.
Yeah, well played by him to blink first, then Yules. If Kunkka was really next level, he would have
done it right away.
Yeah, he would have X'd the second he blinked.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, it's all mind games, right? Like, if you do this, I'm going to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I bet he wasn't ready for that. Like, the instant blink. Usually they, like, hold the blink. They Yules off the X and then blink away. Yeah, exactly. But, like, so the Yules only last 2.5 seconds, and the X lasts for 4. So it doesn't actually remove the X, but it makes it so if you are up in the air for that 2.5 seconds, so if he, like, gets past the first second and a half of X, he can then guaranteed dodge it, yeah.
What do you think about it? He's going the more carry build after the Yules. He does take the attack speed talent on Quap, and going Orchids next. Is they just need the extra carry, or?
That's honestly strange to me. I feel like Lincolns or BKB are needed to play Dota. Like, how does he play fights? Is how I wonder. There's so much threat. Even just a Batrider with Drums running at you. Like, if you blink it on Quap, the fact that you can't blink in, all of her animations, even like Dagger, Blink, and her ulti are all like really janky, and it makes it so like you're vulnerable during your cast animations. Top lane, Rezo's just doing a little bit of bullying. Already has a Manta, which makes Orchid even weirder to me. Kunkka's gonna have a BKB. You have Legion to purge it off of anyone she's behind. I'm not gonna lie, I think this Orchid might be straight up trash, but
You'll have to see it at least
always
once,
willing to be
maybe.
proven wrong. Like, if it somehow turns into a big kill, by all means, like, it's worth it. Slark looking to pressure a bit of bottom. Legion still no Blink Dagger, so as a Slark player, I'm feeling pretty confident doing what he's doing. But, like, if Legion was off map with a Blink, I would not feel good about this. So that's what's a little interesting about Moo. He doesn't generally go for the Blink Dagger very often. He likes to play these, like, Aura carrier type offlaners. So even with Legion, he's still playing her that way. They are up by 3K. Looks like a lot of trades going on this game.
Yeah, it is, because tier 2, it feels like, as you said, Dyer, they just keep setting up. They go behind a tower, they set up.
Kunkka TPing in.
Yeah. He is X, so he just let Lila clears the creep wave. Oh, and the siege unit, they actually let it die. A little bit of a mistake there from Braxton, but it looks like tier 2 tower goes down nonetheless. Are they pushing base here? They know there's no wards. Yeah, here goes J.Storm. Let's go.
BKB on Slark.
They glyph immediately. They're like, whoa, our base is getting pushed. We should probably do something.
They might smoke up out of this on Beast Coast side because they have the BKB. But Centaur almost to a Crimson. Quap almost to an Orchid, so maybe they'll wait for all that.
Get your quick item timings and hope you take that one big fight.
Interestingly enough, he delivers his item on Quap. Like, none of those items are in your inventory, and you showed the opponent what you're going, which is always something to consider.
Yeah, he's just farming up the enemy team triangle now as well. And so far, no one really wants to run into each other. 20 kills, 22 minutes in. Blink Dagger is picked up. They got one initiation now. It is picked up on Fear.
And that's a lot of power in a 4-position hero.
Yep.
What's Grimstroke got? Just a Spirit Vessel against the Morph, but once again, the Legion W is pretty damn good against stuff like the Spirit Vessel and the Orchid.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have just itemized to defend themselves rather than itemizing to be aggressive. You have Shaman, Grim, Centaur, and even Slark alone's a pretty aggressive hero. They are just roshing on the Dire side. They have the Solar Crest, and they also have the Press the Attack. Kunkka to tank. He has BKB. Morphling going for the Scotty.
This is tough. Feels like you kind of have to defend this on Radiant, but you don't know what's happening. Whoa, middle lane, Fear. He's going to try to stop something. There will be a kill coming out. Yep, he goes down.
They have to know something around here.
Yeah, Brax is going in, but it's going to be too late. Whoa, really blinks in.
I like
he almost gets it on time. Resolution now will get stopped, but it won't be enough. Here comes the bow. Will it hit on the Brax? No, it will just give everyone the run. No, it does actually hit on Brax, and now 9. He's going forward. There's going to be the BKB pop by him. The Radiance is burning him down slowly. 9 actually gets with the Radiance. Torrent will miss, but Moose, he is kind of by himself, but there's going to be the duel instead on old Michael. He'll get brought down there in this Legion. 46 damage, no blink. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I like the idea that Rario was going with there. They were just a bit too late. Like, the Roche was already too low that when he blinks screams, it's like a stall thing. He's got a haste. He's just going to run away.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work to stall if Roche is already dead.
Yeah, he was only about 1 second late there, but 1 second is one too many. He does have that Orc, as you said, 2K gold as well. Looks like tier 2 tower might get pushed by his Morphling. Doesn't want to waste time though, right? Killing those Ancients while the creeps come.
God, I just feel like that Orchid is just a wasted 4,000 gold. And Slark uses BKB there. And the sad thing about this BKB Slark is since you don't have Lincolns, you're still forced to pop your BKB like preemptive, or you're supposed to pop your ultimate preemptively because of this Legion, who going Shadow Blade. Just really all against this Blink Dagger, and I feel like with the Morphling Kunkka, your lineup kind of screams, I dare you to come to us. They do catch the Quap, who just dies to a lasso.
Yep, that is a rough one. And you see the tip there. Yeah, it's, I mean, no Lincolns. Lincoln saves you there.
Classic.
On the opposite side. I mean, it's always
I'm telling you, it happens once a game. It happens once a game. I don't understand it. Like, you know, people may think I'm like flaming them or something, but I watch it happen once per game, and I'm like, it still keeps happening once per game. It looks like Slark looking to put a little pressure on Moo here, but he has 32 armor.
Mike's like, wait, what the hell? Why'd you lead him over here? They are going to Centaur ulti him out, but he did throw the snakes down. They are still chasing Fear.
No lasso.
It's one sticky, but all the Solar Crest with that movement speed slow. Now push him on back and give me that dual damage. Bop, bop, bop. Michael has donated quite a bit of damage over here to
I forgot that Solar Crest does a movement speed slow. 9 is in trouble bottom here. Does have BKB though, and they have no way of actually like slowing him down. He's boat buffed and phase boosts. Can they get him? They have inhibit, as you call, in 3 seconds. He's actually going to go down. That's 17 essence, 19 essence shift stacks, feeding the Slark.
Middle lane, though. Oh, my goodness. Press the attack on the Morphling. The tower's dead. It's actually just already dead.
And he's got Aegis, so he's not, like, afraid of finishing it off. And Slark, interestingly enough, took the 30 attack speed. Generally, we've been seeing a lot more lifesteal, and you're against Legion, so lifesteal goes up in value against like a blade mail duel. But he might just be under the impression that if he gets dueled, he dies anyway.
Yeah.
So it's fine to just try to dump out as much damage during the BKB ult as possible. He was forced to... Actually, no, he was not forced to BKB to bring down that Kunkka.
Ooh, they're chasing for more. There will be a nice pushback there, and they will just back it up. Don't want to push uphill. You never know if Kunkka does buy back. You might be in trouble.
Yeah, you want to like try to snowball off of these 19 essence shift that you got from the Kunkka, but you can't just take stupid fights because of the fact that you have it.
Yeah.
Fear still has lasso. Man, why did you buy this Orchid? I don't understand. Like,
we haven't even seen it used once
Who are
yet.
you killing with it? Like, Batrider's working on a Yules. You can get the Dirge, but he has a Glimmer.
He might go, oh no. He has to actually Orchid the creep. There's going to be that, and well, see you later, my friend. There's the duel as well. They do try to save him. It looks like he might make it through. No, he will not. He gets eaten alive, and I know, BSJ, I know. Calm down, my friend, but I am with you. I am with you.
Like, I just... like, you know, just you talk to him like, dude, give me one reason why you built Orchid.
Yeah, and guess what? They're going to go for this melee rack zone. You see how much damage this Morphling can put out. Resolution. We'll see if they bring down. That is a glyph used, and yep, they're not backing up anytime soon. This should be at least some super creeps by the 28-minute spawns.
J.Storm is looking good here. Like, they're playing solid Dota. I like their drafting. I like overall a few mistakes here and there, but Resolution showing us why he's got second place in TI. Just playing a very smooth game. Had that one death, but that's reasonable against when you're playing a first pick Morphling.
Oh, and Leo, he's on the backside. Going for the Batrider. They don't have detection. No, there's a Glimmer Cape on the Undying. There will be a Hex on the Morphling. There's going to be a dual zone. Oh, dear. What a catch there by the Legion Commander. There's no buyback on either of these two heroes. This is just going to be two full sets of racks, my friend.
I mean, he has BKB still on Slark, but that's the problem with the BKB. There's certain games where, like,
two skills pierce it.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel good. You're just, it feels like you don't mind the draft of Beast Coast, but the itemization
I minded
really
the draft.
You off. Okay.
I minded the draft of Beast Coast. I minded the fact that the Slark was last, because when if you pick Slark into two counters, when you could have picked it fourth, that means you should have just picked it fourth. Right? Because they drafted Legion Kunkka.
No, and there will be a Hex, but it won't matter. Grimstroke's dead. He has to instantly buy back. Your Slark's still not alive for 20 seconds. You might just be giving up Megas here at 29 minutes in. There will be a Blink double stun. Will they get out? He pops the ulti. There will be a double silence, but oh no, the duel and the turnaround. And I think we might be seeing the crumble of Beast Coast here after such a good group stage.
They were looking good too. It wasn't just like a good score.
Yeah.
Like, they were looking like the top contenders to take down forward. But I mean, I've just been on it. The first game, the draft didn't seem like them, but you give them that, mulligan, say, hey, come back for the second game. I think they're just playing worse this game.
It definitely feels. I agree. The items, as you've talked about on two of the cores. When two cores go, these items that we've seen this quap. It's not just, well, what if? Oh, they will blink forward though. Resolution. Holy smokes, he actually gets it off, and now he will get pressed. He is going to be completely okay. They're going to turn around. It was a good decision, but they couldn't plant the damage. The 14K lead. Here comes the vote. It's going to be on everyone. Goodbye, Mike. Brax might get brought down as well by Fear on the back lines. He's just getting eaten alive by the fire. There's another duel. And there's Moose dying, and well, we're not going to see the G's drop. No, we will. I was going to say this is your last chance, but I don't blame him. The game's over. The game's over for sure. And
the problem with the BKB on Slark is, like, the reason why you buy BKB on Slark is that it allows you to, like, delay using your ultimate.
Yeah.
And against Legion, without a Linken's, it doesn't allow you to delay using your ultimate. And you saw there that he's forced to BKB ult at the same time, and that
First blood.
You know what's cooking? Boom!
Yeah.
Like that, once you get chucked by the second rock, you're like, wait a sec, that
Yeah.
actually just does full.
125 damage.
That's a nuke, man.
Yeah, 375 when you've got one golem, then breaks into two. I remember all the enchantresses trying to do the sick plays where they take a golem and then run to gank mid.
As it runs out and dies.
Yeah, as it runs out.